Did you know that the Swedish trade unions are a part of the world's largest democracy project? No other global movement equals the trade unions movement in size. In total, we are 181 million members of the democratic trade union movement worldwide. We are union to union. Our members are the Swedish confederations LO, TCO, and SACO, and we support the global trade union movement in protecting their rights. Together with trade unions all over the world, we promote undeniable rights such as decent work, democracy, a fair distribution of power and resources, and sustainable development worldwide. As the trade union movement is the largest social movement in the world, we have the power to make a real difference. Why should we care about working conditions in other countries? The answer can be found in the history of our own organizations. Just over 100 years ago, working conditions in Sweden were appalling. People were badly paid, and there was no job security. But thanks to the emergence of strong trade unions, there is now a deep respect for human rights and equal opportunities on the Swedish labor market. All the workplaces in the world are connected. Because of this, global trade union work is as much about international solidarity as it is about protecting workers' rights at home. Poor working and living conditions in one place can lead to worse conditions elsewhere. Getting to know your own past makes it easier to understand what is going on in the world today. Many countries still have a long way to go, but we know from experience that it is possible to make workplaces across the world better and safer. Consider, for example, the freedom of association, that is to say, the human right to join a trade union. Most employers in Sweden do not question this right, but the first Swedish workers that tried to unite against the injustices and terrible working conditions often lost their jobs. Unfortunately, there are still many countries where free and democratic trade unions are banned. Child and forced labor were ingrained in Swedish society before people began to work for better working conditions. Today, some 21 million of the world's poorest people still work under threat, and 168 million children work in order to earn a living for themselves or their families. Domestic workers, women who work in someone else's home, have long been in an especially vulnerable position on the labor market. They have historically earned the lowest wages and have tended not to have access to trade unions. Today, domestic workers are still found at the bottom of the salary scale, and the difference in pay between men and women is also the greatest. Just over 100 years ago, Swedish workers were below the poverty line. Even though many did work, it was hard to make enough money to buy food and clothes since wages kept falling. Today, trade unions around the world prioritize a work towards ensuring a living wage for all. During periods when Swedish workers have been struggling, we have received help from abroad. During the general strike of 1909, railway workers in Sarajevo worked 5 hours overtime and sent the proceeds to the Swedish trade unions. Now it is our turn to return the favor. This is why international collaboration among trade unions goes without saying. No one should have to risk their life at work, and all workers should earn a living wage. This is a question of all people's equal rights and worth as human beings. But it is also about the fact that poor working conditions in one place creates a race to the bottom, which disfavors workers all over the world. Just like the global corporations, we need to organize on a global scale and make sure that the unions have strong representation across the world. Together, we can turn the efforts made by trade unions worldwide into a vital liberation movement.